If you are watching this video, that means one of your goals for this year is to relocate to Canada. Well, you are in the right channel. Stay tuned. Happy New Year, everyone. Before I proceed, please, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please, this is a new year. Okay, guys, let's subscribe, support your girl. And this year I'm going to be more intentional about creating more content like this with regards to immigration and life in Canada. And the only way you can support me is by subscribing to my channel, by liking my videos, and also by sharing the link to my videos. Okay, so please guys, subscribe to my channel, tell your friend, tell your family, your colleagues, whoever you know that wants to relocate to Canada, tell them about this page, let them subscribe and watch my videos. And to my subscribers, guys, you are the real G's. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you liking my videos, watching my videos. You guys are the best. Okay, all right, so this video is basically going to be talking about the 5 main things that you need to start, that you need to do in order to begin your relocation process. Okay, it's one thing for you to say you want to jackpot, it's one thing for you to say you want to relocate, and it's another thing for you to actually start the process, right? So that's why the first thing, the most important, I think it's one of the most important steps or the most important things that you need to stop doing is stop procrastinating. Yes, there are so many people that want to relocate. In fact, they are relocated but just in their own mind. Okay, they just keep on talking about how I want to relocate to the UK, I want to relocate to Canada, I want to relocate to the US, but are you actually doing anything about it? No, they just say that, they just think about it, they just visualize it, and that's the end. It needs to stop this year. Say no to procrastination. And I know that it is not easy to say no to procrastination. Even myself, I've procrastinated a whole lot, and I'm also going to work towards saying no to procrastination. But it's truly, when I actually started my journey, I literally had to sit down and say, you know what, I am not procrastinating anything again, because I kept on giving flimsy excuses like I need to get to this level in my career, or I need to save up this amount of money, or I need to speak to these people but they're not available right now. Those were all excuses. The day I finally decided to start this relocation process, I had to say no to procrastination. I had to sit down, get my journal, and I had to write down every single thing that I wanted to do, write down the plans that I had, the things that I had learned or I'd researched on. I had to write them down and start working towards it. So the first thing first, say no to procrastination. Okay, all right. And the second thing, guys, now that you've said no to procrastination, it's time for you to do your research. Okay, except maybe you plan on using a travel agent for your process, then all right, that's fine. I did not use a travel agent. I did everything by myself. If you've watched my other videos, you'll see when I spoke about the things that I did every single thing by myself, right? But the first thing first that I always emphasize on is doing your own research, right? Because even if you plan to use a travel agent, you also need to know what you are doing. You also need to know what you're getting into. You can't just rely on only what the travel agent tells you. You need to be able to have your own information, just in case you decide to maybe start doing it by yourself, or in case, because even your travel agents don't really know every single thing, and that's just a real fact. Okay, so do your own research. Where do you want to go to? What province do you want to stay in? What province would favor you, favor your career, favor your family, favor the kind of lifestyle that you have or that you want to live, right? You need to do your own research. I think do your research is something that I always say in almost all my videos, because it is very important. Okay, do your research. There's so many things. What kind of immigration pathway do you want to use? Do you want to come through school? Do you want to come through the federal skilled workers? Do you want to come through PNP? There are different immigration pathways, right? And guys, if you want me to do a video on that, comment on this video, and depending on the number of comments or the number of interactions that I see about that, it will determine what if I'm going to do a video on that. But there are different ways that you can relocate to Canada, not just through school. There are different ways that you can relocate, either as a PR or maybe through getting a work permit, getting a job. There are different ways. So do your own research, which is going to be more convenient for you, which is going to be more easier and feasible for you to achieve. So do your research on everything, you know, the documents that you're going to be needing, research on the kind of jobs that are in need, research on the kind of career that you want to do there. Do your research, it is key. Okay, all right, after doing your research, the next most important thing I feel is very, very important for any pathway that you really want to do, for any kind of relocation pathway that you're going to take to come into Canada, is do your Ielts. Yes, let me tell you something. Before I started my relocation process, that was one of the reasons, that was one of the main reason why I just kept on procrastinating, because I heard a lot of stories, a lot of negative stories about this Ielts. I'm not even going to lie. From, oh, people have written it 10 times, to you can never write it once and just pass, to, you know, it's very difficult. I was also complaining about, you know, the amount of money, the fees, how much I had to pay just to write an English exam. You know, let me tell you something. If you are very serious about relocating to Canada, you need the Ielts. You need to write your Ielts, and then it depends on the immigration pathway that you're going to take. If you're planning to go through school, then definitely you're writing the Ielts academics. And if you are going to use go through maybe federal skilled workers or the PNP or any other, definitely you're going to do the Ielts general. Okay, so that's why I said do your research, so that you don't go and do the Ielts for people that are going to school instead of people that are actually relocating as maybe permanent residents, you know. So that's why that research is very, very important, seriously. But write your Ielts. And guys, let me tell you something. I wrote my Ielts and I wrote it once. And even on that day that I wrote my Ielts, both for the speaking, everything that I did, I was so confident I was going to pass. Once you have the right resources, once you practice really well, once you know your weaknesses and your strengths, guys, you would write that exam and you would pass it in your first try. If you also want me to do a video on how I was able to write and pass my Ielts exam in just one try, let me know in the comments. Okay guys, I said this year I'm going to be giving you guys back-to-back content on every single thing that you need to fulfill your goal of relocating to Canada. So it's actually easy, like I said earlier, if you have the right resources. If you have the right resources, you have the right things that you need to practice on, it is really, really easy and achievable. You can write your Ielts in just one try and pass. Like pass. I'm not talking about band 7 or band 6.5. I'm talking about band 8. Passing with band 8 and above. Okay? So write your Ielts exam. Very, very important. Another important thing that you need to do in order for you to start your journey, your relocation journey, is gather your documents. Let me tell you something. There's one thing that I wish I knew, right, was to gather my documents, because I kept on saying, well, maybe until people actually wait until they get their IT, that's an invitation to apply, before they start gathering documents. And that's so hard. The earlier you start, the better for you, honestly. If you have finally decided, okay, now I don't want to procrastinate anymore, I have done my research, I'm writing my Ielts exam, you know, I've started practicing for my Ielts, please start gathering your documents. Okay, yes, gather your reference letters to your school, try to find out from other people that have done this whole process, find out how long it took for them to get like your school certificates, your whatever that will be required for you in terms of your educational certificates, finding out about how to get police things like your police reports, doing your medicals. Those are very, very essential documents that will be required of you in this relocation process. Start gathering them. Start getting information on how people did theirs, okay? Because you know all these things all depends on the pathway that you're using and depends on the profession, right? So meet people, speak to people, join groups. I'm also an advocate. If you watch my other videos, I'm also an advocate of joining groups, because these groups will tell you exactly what they did. But most of these groups are based on like your profession. So there are groups for pharmacists. I'm a pharmacist, so there was a group for pharmacists. There are groups for doctors, there are groups for bankers, there are groups for lawyers. So join these groups, right? Join these groups and you will see like the processes that these people, that your fellow colleagues, you know, took in order to get their own documents with ease. So these people have done it, so it's going to be way easier for you. Start doing all this. Don't wait till when you've gotten your IT and you have only like, during my time I had 90 days, that's 3 months. That was because of the COVID. So right now I'm not even really sure, it might be lesser or it might still be those 90 days. But let me tell you something, that 90 days is literally like 20 days if you don't have, if you've not started like if you have no clue on how to get these documents. So start from now. At least have an idea of what and what, where did I get, where can I get these things from, where can I, if they're requiring a letter of good standing for like pharmacy, if they require like a letter of good standing from the pharmacy board, how do they get this? Who do I need to speak to? For police certificates, everybody's required to have a police certificate. It also depends on the places that you've stayed. Have you stayed in another country for more than 6 months? Then you need a police certificate from that country also, alongside with the one from Nigeria. So like, start gathering these documents. Start finding out how to get these documents, so that once you get your ITA, which you would get by the grace of God, once you get your ITA, it's going to be so easy for you. All you need to do is just start. Okay, now I have an idea. Now I know who to speak to get these documents. Now I know what to do to get these documents. Now I know who to call to get these documents, because during that period of waiting for me to get the ITA, during that period of waiting for the draws to happen and everything, I used that period to gather all the information that I needed to help me with getting my documents on time. Okay, yes. So after gathering the documents, then the last thing that I don't think people really talk about, but it's very important, right? And I think I said it in my first video, is start working towards your career. Do you want to continue the career that you are doing in wherever country you're coming from? Do you want to continue your career when you relocate? If you're a banker, do you want to continue being a banker? What do you need to do in order for you to continue? Because definitely, like, the processes are different, right? So do you need to take extra courses? Do you need to have some certificates, or start working on it now? Honestly, I wish I knew about this. I mean, I knew about it, but I was just saying, well, when I get there, I'll cross it. Let me tell you, start from now, okay? Do you want to, if you're going to transition, if you're transitioning from one career to the other, start from now. Everybody's going into tech now. Start from now. Start taking all these courses, so that by the time you get there, maybe you're just writing exams or just fine-tuning your resumes, when you've done everything that you need to do whilst you're waiting, instead of just waiting and getting maybe like worried or depressed about the wait time and everything. Use that time to start preparing towards your career. When you relocate, write that exam, do that course, do those courses, get those certificates, start those internships. Even if it is going to be remote, start them. It's going to help you a whole lot. So because when you now get to that place, you're not starting from the beginning again. You're not being confused. So sometimes you might even be so lucky that you can start applying once you've gotten your ITA and you've gotten that approval, gotten maybe your PPR. You can start applying from your country. You can start applying from Nigeria. So I know so many people that got jobs before they even relocated. Start now. It is so important. Like, people don't really talk about it, but it is so important. It's going to really help you, so when you come over to Canada, you're not starting from the very beginning, right? So yes, guys, these are the very important things that you need to start doing if you know that you want to relocate to Canada this year. It might look like just regular things, but these things are very important. Like I've said earlier, don't procrastinate. Do your research, write your Ielts exam, gather your documents, start working on your career growth or transitioning. Do the things that you need to do. All these things, once you start doing all these things, let me tell you something, you're on the right path, and before you know it, you have relocated. You have relocated before this year ends. Okay, so thank you so much again, guys, for watching this video up to this point. I appreciate you guys a whole lot. I have another video coming up where I'm going to be talking about the 5 main documents that you need to relocate to Canada. So stay tuned. Thank you so much again, guys, for watching my videos. Please subscribe, guys. Subscribe, like my videos, share my link, and see you in my next video. Bye.